Hey, what's up guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing a book review for Flamecaster by Cinda Williams Chima. If you guys don't know, Flamecaster is the continuation of the Seven Realms series, and it takes place two and a half decades after the events of the Seven Realms series. So I definitely recommend reading that series first before jumping into this one, because it's very much related to that series, and you're not going to understand the importance of certain characters or the importance of backstories of certain characters if you don't already have that knowledge of the first series. But you could still enjoy it, just not as much if you already knew all that stuff. This is the first book in the Shadowed Realm series, and it follows a character named Adrian / Ash / Adam. He goes by a lot of different names within this first novel. He's the son of some major players that are in the first series, and because there are some political assassinations and things going on, he has to get involved with trying to protect his realm, his country. He's also a wizard, and wizards in this world are controlled a little bit by the native groups of this world. They are the ones that create these amulets that the wizards can then use to do their magic, and they put limitations on all of these amulets so that the wizards can't become too powerful and enslave different groups of people. That was a whole big ordeal in the first series, so go and check it out. But in that series, most of the people that have magic and most of the wizards are people that do combat magic. But in this one, Ash is a healer. He has healing magic. He's not as good at combat magic as he is at healing magic, so it kind of sets him apart and makes him a bit of an oddity in this world. The other main character that you follow is a girl named Jenna, and she's living in this city that is being controlled by a bad person in this world. They're forced to work in these mines in really awful conditions, and they're forced to work once they're like 8 or something like that. So child labor laws are not a thing in this world, and tons of people die because of the conditions that they live in. And she's hoping that she will have some greater destiny than working in these coal mines and plodding through life. She has this mark on the back of her neck which is called a mage mark, and so she believes that she is destined for something great. I don't want to say more about Jenna because she has a lot of different things going on around her and about her that I think are spoilery, and I think that the blurb spoils a little more than it should. There's also another character that you follow a little bit, and her name is Lila, and you don't really know what's going on with her and what side she's on. Is she evil? Is she good? What are her motivations? But she definitely has a different take on the world than these other two characters. She's not followed as much, but she is kind of a prominent player in this novel. As usual with my book reviews, I'm going to go through my pros, go through my cons, give you my rating, and be done. My first pro for this book is that she expanded the Seven Realms world so much. In the first series, you really focus in on the realm of the Fells, which is a queendom, and you explore a little bit more outside of the Fells, but you don't go too far, and you don't really know what's happening in other parts of the world as much. In this series, Cinda expands it a lot.
To whom should I send your message?
Never mind.
Okay, I won't send it.
You start to learn about different political players that are farther away from the Fells, but are still going to play a role in the future of this queendom. And with that expansion, you start learning more about the magic system and the history of the magic system, where wizards originally came from, what kind of magic they have. Are there other types of people that have different types of magic? You start to learn all of those things, and it's really fascinating. I really enjoyed learning about it, and I think that the elements that she's starting to include in this series are already so great. I can only imagine that in the future of this series, it's going to get even better. I also liked all 3 of the main characters. I didn't find one more boring than another one because they each had interesting things happening all the time. Ash, Lila, and Jenna were all so interesting, and I liked seeing each of their stories, especially when they started to interweave. You could see where things were possibly going, and it was just a fun time with the characters. I kind of hinted at this, but the plot for me was so interesting. I really had a fun time reading it. I just wanted to know more and more about what was happening in this world, and who was going to betray who, and what X character was going to do, and how Y character was going to respond. I loved it, and I ate it up. I read this book extremely quickly. The ending was like, yes, I need the next book, please. I don't usually marathon series, and this book made me want to marathon the series. Not all the books are out yet, so I physically cannot do that. But the way that this book ended is not a cliffhanger, but it's still so enticing that I just want to know more. And so I definitely will be ordering the next book here in a little bit so that I can continue this story and learn about what's going to happen next, because there are so many different possibilities and so many different directions that the characters could go into, and they're just gonna get in so much trouble. I'm so excited for it. The only thing with jumping into the next book is that I think that the second book has a terrible cover. I really do not like the cover change. Going into my cons, there was one point where I started to get confused on the verbiage of this world. They call certain people mudbacks and they're a type of mercenary, but then sometimes they're called dirtbacks and then it switches back to mudbacks. So I started to get confused on that. I didn't really know the difference between a dirtback and a mudback or if they were the same thing. That is such a small thing, but it did throw me out. You get a couple of events that happen in the past and then it jumps 4 years into the future, and I thought that that time hop was a little jarring and it threw me off because I didn't realize what was happening and why the time hop happened. I got back into the story, but it did throw me off for a second. I just realized those were my only 2 cons. There's some spoiler things that I could go into, but I think I'm just gonna keep this spoiler free. But honestly, the magic, plot, and characters of this book were amazing and I am so excited to continue. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars, I believe. I loved it. And I just love Cinda Williams Chima. I've read her Warrior Heir series, which is a series of 5 books, which is really good. And I also obviously read the Seven Realms series before picking this one up, which was very good. She's also like the sweetest woman on the planet, so I definitely recommend picking up her books. So that's gonna be my review on Flamecaster by Cinda Williams Chima. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you've read the Seven Realms series. Have you started this Shattered Realms series? Have you read her Warrior Heir series? Anything you want me to know about Cinda Williams Chima or books that are similar to this, leave that down below and I will talk to you guys next time.